You came over from Dexter. They kill folks.
We killed on Dexter, folks, yes.
Are you planning on killing more folks?
Well, you
Under the dome?
know, before I got to Chester's Mill, the body count was pretty high.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people missing from the
There are a
first
lot of
year,
people
yeah.
missing from the first 2 seasons. But yeah, this is, in a way, the storytelling is very much like Dexter this season. It's a little bit more serialized, and it's not quite so standalone. And, you know, we threw a lot of stuff at you guys in the first 2 hours that's all going to play out over this entire season, not just over an episode, but the entire season. And I can assure all of you that we meant what we said. We are answering all the questions, maybe not in the time frame that you want, but by the end of this season, you will know everything, and you're starting to see, you know, the very first clues of that.
Mark, if I can just quickly quote Mike's character, Barbie, who the hell are you? Are you good? Are you bad? Explain, Kristen.
I'm complex.
Yeah, you are.
Essentially, I have an agenda for Chester's Mill, and I have a plan that I, put into motion, and I'm trying to get the whole community behind, because I feel that it's the best thing for us to survive, because things are getting desperate, running out of supplies, etc. And so I refer to this as a kinship, a collective, and some people go along and some don't.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Mike, a couple of things I want to ask you, but I want to start with the love triangle.
Yes, sir.
How is it going? How is it playing in a love triangle?
It's shapely. It's
Good answer.
it's a terrible problem to have. I said to Tim earlier on the season, I really love triangles are tough because you've seen, and it's made it even more difficult by the constructs of our show, which are everyone who's in here is in here. So how are we going to get more people in here to involve in a love triangle that we haven't seen? Is it just going to be hokey? The way that they orchestrated the time that we spent in the Matrix and the alternate reality that's doing that, I think it set up a believable premise as to how Mark's character, Kylie Bunbury's character, found their way into the dome, and that Barbie and Ava, Kylie's character, have lived in their minds. They've lived a year. Julie and I have been together for a little over 3 weeks, so you can see how that might complicate things.
Must be crazy when you get the scripts. Like, whoa.
It's fun. They're two beautiful, wonderfully talented women. And they only fight once in a while, so I can't ask for much more.
And we gave you Barbie's ass this season, so...
Where was I? I missed that.
Well, you might have missed it. It was so small. It just...
Hey, Colin, I want to ask you about being in the cocoon and getting out of the cocoon.
What was that? One more time?
Getting out of the cocoon. What was that? How did that go when you shot the scene?
It was cold, man. It was cold, but no, I mean it was definitely really cool. I know Mike has a crazy story.
Well, and let me explain to everybody. You guys were trapped in the cocoon. You escaped,
Right.
but you didn't really escape easily.
No, it's difficult, and we came out of the cocoons very confused, kind of not really not really knowing why we were there and what was going on, and then in turn kind of realizing what happened while we were in the cocoons was a big deal for us. And I don't know, I think it's really crazy.
By the way, if you want to recreate that at home for yourselves, all you need is some KY jelly and some corn syrup. So knock
That's what I was going to ask you. What is that goop really? And Mike, tell your story about getting out of the cocoon.
I had to forcibly make an exit. We were also pumping dry ice into the floor level. And as I look down, as I'm standing in this cocoon, which takes 15 minutes to reset, I see the dry ice level kind of coming up. And 1 second I was breathing, the next second I went to take a breath and there was no oxygen left, because it displaces the oxygen. And I literally had to go into a bunch of left hooks and roundhouse punches and punch my way out of this thing just so I could breathe. and I ruined a Cocoon doing it. So
And it was our bad because we almost broke the one, kind of cardinal rule of television production, which is don't kill your actors.
Right.
I think it was a veiled threat that was
Yeah.
being sent my
Well,
way.
we know you're a method guy.
Yeah,
Why not?
I'd love to get into it.
Mike has never forgotten a line since that day.
It was just to let you know Barbie could go at any moment.
I didn't think they were being serious about that, though.
Now, Mark, I heard that originally your character, they had a nickname of Margot because they were hoping to get you, but they weren't sure they could get you, so they nicknamed the character Margot. Is that true?
That is true. Tim and Neil, who couldn't be here today, yes, they had me in mind for when they were conceived this character, which always is so flattering to hear for an actor. And then they pitched this to me and over the phone, and it was mystifying and
Yeah, I mean,
insane.
The reality was, we just kept thinking, she's never going to want to do this. This is really some crazy out there stuff. But why not? Why not make that phone call? So right before the phone call started, I looked to Neil, our showrunner, and just said, she's either going to, hang up on us and tell us we're crazy, or hopefully she'll want to do it and not hang up on us. And she didn't, and we just got incredibly lucky, but not lucky in the sense of what she brings to this role and to this character. Those were the things that we were looking for, whether it was, Mark specifically. We needed a great actress, and we got a great actress.
Oh, aren't you sweet? Thank you, Tim. It's been a ball, though. But I really look forward to the evolution of.
And these guys aren't bad. I mean, I'm not saying,
Absolutely.
but then,
But Mark's the best.
yes, Mark's the best.
Hey, Neil Baer couldn't be here, one of the executive producers. He is sick, but I remember talking to the producers before the first season, and they said, well, we have about 5 years laid out. But Tim, when you come in now and you kind of mess with that plan, how did you mess with that plan?
Well,
What
it's
kind of crazy, kooky changes?
I always kind of refer to this creative process of putting up your Christmas tree. That's what we, the writers, do. We put up a tree, and we want to make sure we know what kind of tree we want, and if it's, kind of upright and steady. And then you start putting the ornaments on. But if you put your ornaments on first and you have a really shitty tree, it's not going to look so great. So I came into the show this season, so we've been on the air for two seasons, and I kind of found all these Christmas presents under the tree already that I got to start to open up. And how I approached coming into a show that had already been up and running was, a lot of these questions that we're answering are questions that I wanted answered because I was watching the show. And I wanted to know just what is up with the butterflies and, the egg and the dome. And so, when we sat down with the other writers and we just started, kind of putting all of this together, some of it did fit into this master plan. And then other things, we took some left-hand turns. But it's all going to tie together. It's all going to make sense in a macro sense for the series. This season is paying off things that you saw in seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah. Hey, Colin, I want to ask you about Joe. We've watched you kind of grow up a little bit on this show. How will he continue to evolve this season?
I think some of Joe's best growth is in this third season. I think if we kind of look back at season 2, with the losing of Angie and all the other things that happened, I think Joe always looked up to Barbie as a hero and as kind of like a mentor, and I think he'll continue to do that. But I think he'll also in this third season he really finds himself and he really grows up. He has a little bit of a love triangle himself with Hunter and Nori, so we'll see how that plays out and see how he handles that. But I think Joe is a lot more courageous in this season and has a lot more to offer under the dome.
He's also physically growing.
Right.
We got to put people on boxes to make it believable that this has only been 3 weeks.
Boy, these damn love triangles are everywhere, aren't they?
That's right.
Hey, Mark, what's the experience been like going down to Wilmington, joining this cast? You're a veteran of so many great shows, and What has it been like working with this crew?
It's been wonderful. Everyone was very welcoming towards me, and I've been in Wilmington before 20-some years ago, and it's grown quite a bit, and it's a charming community, and it's right on the water, and of course you've probably heard about all the shark attacks. It hasn't stopped me from going in the water, though. But everybody here, the cast, crew, writing staff, everybody's been super cool and fun.
Yeah, it's been a blast, huh?
Yeah.
Every season, you lose people. Does that make it nervous every time you open the script? Because clearly someone's going to go this season.
100%.
I actually, the one we're shooting now, I won't reveal anything, but I couldn't believe what I do at the end of this episode, and I almost just started crying upon reading that.
They take a little bit of joy in breaking the news.
What is that process like when they break the
you,
news? How does
keep
that...
them on their best behavior. You get your car washed, those little things. And I think sometimes a series, can have deaths that don't really mean anything. And I think this season, these deaths, because you've come to know these characters so well, they're really going to matter because it's all going to start to build really with tonight's episode and moving forward. I usually don't use this kind of language, but things are going to get bananas.
Bananas.
Yeah.
Like, Mark, you and Dean are trapped in a bird cage for a while
Yeah, that's...
this season. You want to tell us about that experience?
Yes, we have all of our scenes, all 4 or 5 of them, I can't recall now, but they were all inside of the large bird cage, and we essentially have a philosophical discussion about man, humanity, any kind of life force out there, and the differences between the two, and which is more important and more lasting, and it was really fun working with him, and we had this cage between us, and I guess you'll have to watch to see what it all entails.
And Big Jim has really met his match. And the thing that makes him such a foe for Christine is he's a narcissist. He's this self-centered, I come first before anybody else. And if you are coming from a collective, the kinship kind of point of view, that is, no pun intended, that is really alien to you. That how could anyone be that self-centered? And yet you're going to need that to survive, and that's something that Julia is going to start to understand and get a kind of a new appreciation of Big Jim this season.
How has the cast welcomed all the new folks, Mike? I will ask you and Colin, as the new folks have come in.
There's a
What's that been
brief
like for you?
hazing period.
Yes.
They've obviously survived. No, it's always great having people come in, and sometimes they come in and stay, and sometimes they don't. But it's we've been really fortunate to have a lot of great eggs over the last couple of years walk through the door, and it's always been painful watching them go, because filmmaking is weird that way. You take 6 months and you jump into this pit, and your life revolves around these people constantly, and so everything happens faster, relationships happen faster, your friendships form faster, and then all of a sudden it's like break, everyone goes back to their lives, and wait a minute, but this was just the life we were all living. So it's tough when someone has to leave. It's fun when someone else comes in, and like I said, we're just really blessed to have had some really good ones come through, and some really fantastic ones come in now.
Thank you.
Can you give us... Oh, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
Oh, all I was just going to add to that, when you say these relationships, you become very close very quickly. I mean, when you have to do any kind of love scenes, you guys can attest to that, right? It's just,
Oh, day 2?
yeah, it just kind of surprising. And then, you're done with the scene and doop-de-doo, you go off and no big deal, Like in life, you'd never do that.
Oh, you
At
don't?
least I wouldn't.
Colin, teach us.
Yeah.
Colin, teach us something.
Shield his eyes.
Come on, Colin.
No, I mean, I would just say,
Next question.
to that note, I really enjoy when we get new cast members, because being one of the younger cast members on the show, I find it a chance to like learn from you and Kylie Bunbury as well, and whoever else we may be having on a particular episode. But I just find it to be really cool to meet different actors and actresses and get to know them and become friends and then learn.
What have you learned?
Oof, now you're. Oof, I know how to
I
play.
put you on the spot.
I know how to play good. I know how to play a good villain now.
Okay, all right.
Watch out when you sit next to the seasoned pro. She's done a few of these panels. Tim, can we give, for each character, just a little direction of where they're headed? In your mind.
Well,
Because they may not know.
humanity may very well rest on this one. This one, oh man, she's just getting warmed up with kind of the stuff that she's got coming. And for Barbie, you know, he might want to start thinking about shopping at Toys R Us.
Oh. How, for multiple toys or just, I mean, is he buying for two sets of kids? Or?
It's an alien life force.
You never know how many
litter.
toys they need, you know?
You know what, looking at Barbie's character and his evolution and the women in his life.
Many
Have
of
you
them
had
are.
the many women? Have you had a favorite?
Be careful, Mike.
I know.
Careful,
I'm
Mike.
going down a dangerous road here. I'm sorry.
Careful, Mike.
I'm going down a dangerous road.
Listen, Rochelle and I have really formed a wonderful bond over the 3 years that we've done this, and to have another actress that you can trust in almost every circumstance and every scene to show up, give 100%, and is respectful of boundaries and everything else. We both get it in a way that you don't usually.
It's a beautiful dance you're doing right now. Go ahead.
Like that?
Go ahead. Yeah, no, it's a great dance. Go ahead.
But no, I'd have to say, I say of all of them, they all hold a special place in my heart. But have I hit everyone? But yeah, Rochelle and I think have a special little actory bond.
Actory bond.
Hey, Tim, what is it do you feel that, and what is the reason that people are so attached to this show and Chester's Mill?
You know, I think it gets back to just genre kinds of shows. The thing that attracts me, just as an audience member, not as a writer, you know, so much, are the shows that ask the big questions, like what if? And to me, that's the potential of telling a story under a dome. It's such an amazing, big, you know, concept and premise to explore, and haven't seen that done before. And so you get to tell maybe familiar themes in the stories, but I think this one resonates because when you get a group of people together, and you certainly see it in reality TV, it does sometimes bring out the best in people and brings out the worst in people. And I think you can identify with those members on a reality show, and I think you can identify with these members, these characters, on a show like Under the Dome. You can relate to these people who are in a horrible, terrible situation. And so that's something that's incumbent upon us as writers, is to find those things that you, the audience, can relate to, and would you do the same thing in that situation? And it's really something I learned on Dexter. You know, we made a serial killer someone you wanted to root for. So that takes some doing, and I think, you know, that's why the show resonated, and the good shows really do. And I think that's why this is one of those good shows. Is you've got these incredible characters that you're going to see different aspects to, especially this season. So everything you saw in The Matrix, it did matter. It wasn't just make-believe. We're going to see the repercussions of all of it.
By the way, I hear the cheers from the Dexter fans out there. The Dexter fans, though. A lot of people love that show.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of anger out. 8 seasons on that one.
Hey, Mark, and I'll ask the whole cast, but I know you guys have been here, but what makes it special to be here at Comic-Con besides just being able to interact with the fans?
So many things. I mean, first off, the city of San Diego to host this all these years, and it's such a yeah.
The weather does not suck.
What's that?
The weather's pretty doggone good, isn't it?
Almost perfect, honestly, but it's just a beautiful city, incredibly beautiful, and so welcoming. And the group of people that attend this from all over the world, I mean, God bless all of you. I mean, some of you have come from I don't even how far away, and your support and your love and that you have for every show that you're here for is something that means a great deal to all of us, and I hope you all can feel that we have a great deal of love and respect for all of you.
Mm-hmm. Mark, since you've investigated a few crime scenes in your career, how should we go about unraveling your character?
How should we go about?
Unraveling your character.
Well, let's see. The character I played on CSI, Catherine Willows, what would she have to do with this? I think she would probably take one look at her and size her up and get her number immediately and know how to handle her.
Yeah.
And it would probably be just to put her in an insane asylum. Keep her there, throw away the key.
Lock her in a cage with Dean.
So, Mark, would Catherine have caught Dexter?
Ooh. Of course.
You won't let that happen, will you?
No.
You will not let that happen. Hey, Mike, your Comic-Con experience, because you've been here a few times. How is this for you, and what's special about being here?
Well, for us, it's a great shot in the arm because we're over in Wilmington for months and months and months filming, and the show starts airing. And it's the beauty of where we are in North Carolina is that it's a great small town, very low key, so you don't ever get to feel the energy and that palpable energy that's coming from people for a show and for the work that you're doing, because we're putting a ton of work into it, they're putting a ton of work into it, and to come here, this is kind of the epicenter where everyone lets it all hang out, and it just kind of fills our cup again to see all y'all's enthusiasm and excitement, and it lets us go, oh yeah, right, that's why we're doing it.
And just so everybody knows, really, literally, being in Wilmington, they are in their own little world. They're under their own little dome, the actors are. And so it's a special kind of place to do and film stuff because you are away from the whole Hollywood hubbub.
Yeah, right.
And then you come out into the world, you emerge into the world like, whoa.
Boom. A lot's happened in 6 months,
Yeah.
Boom, it hits you. Colin, I'm gonna let you, because I just got one more question, wrap this thing up. But I'm gonna let you wrap it up. How would you wrap up the Under the Dome experience and what this show has meant, not only for you, but for the cast members who have survived, for those of you who've made it to season 3?
How would I wrap it up?
How would you wrap up what this experience has been like?
Well, I think the experience overall has been incredible for me, especially you said earlier, I've kind of grown up on this show. I mean, and like I said, whenever we get new cast members, I feel like I'm constantly watching and learning and trying to better myself as an actor. And also, we have writers who come hang out on set, who make sure that we're not messing up our lines and whatnot. But it's really cool to get to talk to them about, what's either coming up in the next episode or just figuring out a way to better my craft. I feel like Under the Dome has been a really, really helpful thing, a really helpful, I don't want to say job because it doesn't feel like a job, but it's been a really helpful job for me in order to figure out myself and figure out my career and everything. And I think that we're all kind of doing that as well.
All right, Tim, Colin, Mark, and Mike, thanks for being here today. Under the Dome, you can check it out tonight's episode. Tune in, it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, guys, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Kevin. Well done.
Huh? Oh, no, fun. Can we do one thing before we go? Can we take a picture with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, here, come over here. Let's take everybody. You can stand up or lean in or squish together, everybody.
How do we do?